Hello, and welcome to Public Speaking. My name is Dr. Susan Cardillo, and I will be your instructor for the next 16 weeks as we go through this course. I really hope you enjoy it. I try to do audio lectures with my PowerPoints whenever I can, so it makes it a lot more interesting and fun for you to follow along. So let's start by me introducing myself to you. That's me, a picture of me. My background is that I was born and raised in New Jersey, and you might be able to hear that a little bit in my voice, although I work real hard so you don't. I then went to my undergrad at the University of Arizona in Tucson, and then moved to Los Angeles for 18 years. Then moved to Florida, where I taught high school theater and television production for several years while I worked on my master's and my doctorate. And now I teach full-time at Piedmont College as well as teach you. My master's is in emerging media, and so is my doctorate. I am a PhD of computer science in emerging media, and my background is in acting, film, and television as well. It's a lot of stuff. I live in Clarksville. I am married, and I have one child, and her name is Julie. Yes, she's a St. Bernard, and she is my only child. And she'll be 6 years old she'll be 7 years old on my birthday, which is February 3rd. So remember that because that'll come up during class. And she is just the sweetest thing in the world. Okay, so if you need to get in touch with me, you can email me at scardillo@northgatech.edu, or you can call me. I'll have my phone number on the syllabus for you. It's a cell, so you can text me as well and make an appointment. I don't keep any specific office hours at North Georgia Tech, but I'm close enough by that I can meet with you. You do have a required textbook, which is a speaker's guidebook, which you can find in your bookstore. And we go through many of the chapters in that book, and it would be wise of you to read on your own, as this is a self-paced course. You will have an assignment each week, which will really not have too much to do with the actual chapter, but more about getting you comfortable to speak in public. The things that you're probably the most interested in is your grading. You will be required to do 4 speeches in this class: an introduction, an informative, an entertaining, a persuasive. You will also have a weekly assignment, not on the weeks that we do speeches. I only give you those on the weeks that we don't do speeches. And there's a midterm, and then your final grade is proctored, which means you have to come to the school and take the test. So I'll go into more detail about each of these, but you see the persuasive speech has more weight on it, and that is because a persuasive speech is a longer speech. You'll go from 10 to 12 minutes on that speech, and you have to persuade us to do something. So that's why it's worth more points than the others. And as you can see, your A, B, C, D, and F, which I truly hope no one gets down to the bottom part of that breakdown, but I don't see that happening. As long as you show up and do the work, you should be just fine. Next, I have a course schedule, which I put in the resource folder on the desktop of Blackboard. You'll find a lot of different things in that resource folder: your syllabus, this weekly guide to assignments, and any other assignments I have for you. Besides putting them under the week that they're due, I also put them in the resource folder, so you're not looking all over for something if you can't find it. You could always find everything in the resource folder. So this is how I set this up, and this would be a great thing to print out or make a copy of and have it on your desktop of your computer. What I do is I give you the week. I tell you what I'm going to cover, which are the chapters you would be responsible for reading. And then on the right-hand side, I show you the assignment that is due and the date that it's due. So there should be no questions as to, what day do I do this or when do I do that? It's all right here. I have the course broken down into weeks by date, and your assignments are all included in there. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. Class policies. Well, professionalism. Now we're talking about public speaking here. Public speaking is to get you comfortable standing up and talking to people. This will help you in any job situation you ever go into, no matter what field. Whether you want to be a teacher or a nurse or a doctor or a mechanic or a welder or anything else you could possibly dream of wanting to become, you have to be able to talk to people. And hopefully this class gets you a little bit more comfortable in doing that. Um, you should always act professionally during a speech. Obviously, no cuss words and no slang. Contractions should even be avoided, meaning can't, ain't, won't. It's much better to use the full words. And you should dress professionally. Think of it as a job interview. So when you get up in front of that camera, you will be graded on your appearance, not your looks, but how professionally you are dressed and how professionally you act. Next, and this is the difficult part for most people in an online public speaking class, you must have 5 adults present during each of your 4 speeches. So you need to round up 5 people over 18 years old, and this is all in your syllabus. And at the beginning of your speech, you're going to need to pan around to them and then have it back on yourself. And then at the end of the speech, you'll have to pan around to them and back onto yourself again without any editing. And as a TV production teacher, I know when it's edited, to show that these people are in the room and they were there. And hopefully they'll applaud or laugh or ask a question or something wonderful like that. If you think that this is going to be a difficult thing for you, I am also teaching this class live. So if you want to transfer out of the online course and into the live course, that will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3:30. Please do so. There's plenty of room in that class, and I would love to have you there present with me. It's much more fun to have someone in front of you giving a speech. So I would love to see you there. Late work, I give you plenty of time and I give you exact due dates for everything, so I do not grade late speeches or assignments. If you have a terrible emergency, get in contact with me ahead of time and we will try to work something out, but please get your work in on time. Attendance. Now, I know it's an online class, but you must be in class every week. You have to log on into the class every week. And I purposely give you an assignment every week, even if it's a minimal discussion board, to get you to log in so that you can make sure that you're attending, because it's the same attendance policy. After 3 absences, the fourth one, you're dropped from the class. So now tardy's not going to make a difference because I don't know when you're late. But please, please log in every week and do your work and do it on time. As you see here, it says first assignment is crucial for attendance purposes. It's called first assignment. I'm just asking you to fill out a form, tell me a little about yourself, and agree that you have read the syllabus. I just need that for attendance purposes because if you don't show up to class by January the 11th, or whatever the date is for drop ad, I have to report that you didn't show up for class and you will be dropped from the class. So please make sure that right after you listen to this, you go and do that first assignment. I promise you don't need to study for it. I promise you'll get an A on it because it's just information about you. Thank you. Okay, so this is what you're going to do in this class. We're going to give, or you're going to give, and I'm going to help you get through 4 different speeches. One is an introduction speech, and that's about you and your goals and your dreams and your family and anything you want to tell us about yourself. And that's kind of a warm-up speech for you. It's to get you ready to do this and make you comfortable in the space. In the space meaning you standing up in front of people. That'll be about 4 to 6 minutes. That's your shortest speech, as you can see as you look down the line here. Your next one's an informational speech. You're going to teach us something. Now, you might want to start your wheels spinning already because this could be anything from, how to make a pizza, which too bad you're online because I would share that with you. Or, how does wine get made? Another one of my favorite things. Anything that you do or love to do and you want to teach us about it in a professional way, that would be an informational speech. You can also inform us about someone in history. You can tell us about your favorite football player. It's really open to you as long as you follow the informational guidelines, which we'll get into in the class. Your next speech, which is usually my favorite, is the entertainment speech. This is where I wish you were all in class live because the entertainment speeches are so much fun. This is truly what it says. It's to entertain. It could be a stand-up comedy routine for the whole 6 to 8 minutes as long as it has a theme of some kind. Entertainment speeches are celebratory speeches, toasts, those sort of things. But you can see this is 6 to 8 minutes, so you're going to have to do some thinking on it. Top 10 ways to get a guy to marry you, or to get a girl to ask you out. So you can come up with these really interesting things, and I give you a lot of suggestions on ideas. There's a lot of websites that could also help you with that, and I guide you in that direction. And then there's your big speech, your persuasive speech. It's exactly what it says. You're going to persuade us to one side or another of a story, of something you feel strongly about. You will tell us a little bit about both sides, and then your job, your goal is to persuade us into believing what you think and have us take what we call a call to action. Do something. Say, look, me, I'm a vegetarian, and you'll hear that a lot when I give my talks. I would do a speech on the importance of being a vegetarian, and I would try to persuade you into your call to action would be, I want you to just go one day without eating an animal. Just one day and see how you feel. So that's all I'd be asking of you, but it could be a huge deal to some of you. Some of you not so much, but I've been doing it for 25 years, so it's no big deal to me. So those are your 4 speeches. Throughout, between those speeches, there are assignments. You have to hand in an outline, and I think that's on my next page here. Yes, your outline must be typed, which I think goes without saying when you're in an online class, but I've had live students actually do them in magic marker and crayon, which is totally unprofessional. And your speech must have a PowerPoint accompanying it. Now, you could be showing the PowerPoint to your friends and family when you're doing this speech. I don't have to necessarily see that on camera, but you do have to hand that outline in. And it would be really smart of you to add one to your speeches for your audience because it really is it's a nice add to a speech. The course description is in your syllabus. It's to introduce the student to the fundamentals of oral communication. This is a big deal, you guys. Once you can do this, once you do it, it's easy. Once you get past the, oh my goodness, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, everybody's looking at me, we're going to turn it around and we make it all about the audience. And that's when you become good at it. When you make it about them instead of about you, then you're successful at it. So we'll work through it and we'll get you all up there speaking. Here are the objectives. I'm not going to go through each of these. They're in your syllabus. They're obvious and logical. You don't have a group presentation in this class. If you were in the live class, you would. We replace the introduction speech, and at the end we do a group presentation. Again, if you'd like to change that class into a live class, then you're welcome to do so. And we will talk about in a couple of different ways how to analyze other people speaking and summarize their ideas and understand what they were trying to get across to you. So I look forward to getting to know each of you in this class. You are welcome to email me, call me, text me, set up an appointment with me anytime you have a question or a problem. And remember that as an online public speaking student, you must have 5 adults present at each of your 4 speeches. If you think that's going to be an issue, please sign up for the live class instead. So now I'm going to leave you with a short little video that will let you know that you too can be a public speaker and it can't be as bad as this.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.